Good evening from outside the Scottish Parliament, where we've just had the first day of debate on the possibility of the Scots holding a second referendum on independence or pulling away from the rest of the United Kingdom. To discuss the implications of what's taking place here over the next couple of days, I'm delighted to be joined by two members of the Scottish Parliament, both from opposite ends of the political spectrum, certainly on the issue of independence, that is. Annie Wells from the Scottish Conservative Party and James Dornan, a Scottish nationalist. So, to the uninitiated, which I am one for sure, tell me what today has really been about. Is it only about independence, or is it about political ambition?
Well, for me today has been about, it's obviously we are debating whether we should have an independence referendum, when that should be, but for me today it's been quite key that we are calling the Scottish Government out on their failings over the last 10 years. So we are trying to sort of put it both ways, so failing in education, the economy, we are sort of looking at that side of things as well, because we are still best together.
Has Theresa May been ignoring the wishes of the Scottish people on the Brexit issue?
Absolutely no. I mean, I think James will agree with me as well that the vote we took on Brexit was a UK-wide vote. So therefore we need to negotiate as the UK when we come to leave it. We can't just take those million people who voted to leave the EU either and use their vote to generate another independence referendum that no one actually wants right now.
What that then suggests is that we should just disregard the 1.7 million Scots who voted to remain in the EU. And I think that comment from Annie, who I got on really well with, by the way, highlights the difference between the two of us, because I see Scotland as being a country, a nation that should have its own voice. And even if the UK did want to leave the EU, then it should have been a decision for each of the individual four parts of the UK to agree on, or there should have been special arrangements put in place for whichever parts decided to stay.
Wasn't it in your white paper, though, at the last referendum, the consequence of voting no? And the consequence of voting no was that there would be a vote for the UK and Scotland to leave the EU.
It's really interesting, because at the end of the day, Ruth Davidson and others said that the only way to ensure that you stay within the EU is to vote no in the independence referendum.
Okay, but again, from the outsider's point of view, one reads that it's a gamble for Nicola Sturgeon because you had a referendum in 2014, you lost it. There's not necessarily a majority in favour of independence now either, is there?
Well, the thing is, this is about giving the people of Scotland their say. This is not about there's no immediate electoral advantage to the SNP in having this referendum just now. This is about the situation where Scotland has been put in a position where they have to have a say. Should they be in the EU? Should they be in the single market or not?
What James was saying there, it's like we have to... Scotland should have a say. We are having a say. We are part of the devolved powers. The Prime Minister says she will speak to the devolved nations, and we need to do that as a United Kingdom, the way we voted to leave. And at the end of the day as well, if we'd voted yes in the referendum in 2014, we would have been out of the EU. So to say vote no would keep you in, it did then.
My final question, both of your opinions on whether or not the Brexit, this extraordinary phenomenon about which we know so little in terms of how it's going to be, does it make the likelihood does it make it more likely that Scotland will break away or less likely?
For me, it's less likely. I mean, poll upon poll showing that there isn't the support there from the people of Scotland to have another referendum. And there's no mandate for it from whatever James is going to say next. There is no mandate, because this isn't about Brexit. This is about the SNP wanting independence at any cost.
It is assumed that the Scottish nationalists, with the help of the Scottish Greens, will win. The vote will go through in their favour, and then I guess it will be up for Theresa May and the government in Westminster to respond. But it is clear there is a very divisive element to this debate, and the Brexit issue is at the very heart of it.